Hello everybody, welcome to Tokyo Creative Play.
Today,
We're going to be discussing
what we're currently watching.
An anime that I've been watching recently.
Things that we've all been watching on the TV or the internet, which is where most people seem to watch stuff these days.
So today we're just going to be sharing with you guys what kind of shows we've been watching lately. I think mainly it's going to be Japanese shows that we're going to be sharing with you guys. And it can be, you know, movies, TV shows, even YouTubers or variety shows, that kind of thing. So I spend quite a bit of time watching shows, not a huge amount, but if there's a show that I'm interested in, I will binge the whole thing rather than, you know, make it last.
Because I'm really picky with what I watch. And I think I've seen enough in my lifetime to give recommendations.
A lot of people ask if I watch what YouTube channels I watch, and I really don't watch a whole lot of YouTube. Most of my influences as a YouTuber have come from British TV. I've been watching a lot of things on Netflix, but I have to download a lot of them off iTunes, particularly some of the more creative Japanese films that I'll be talking about in a minute, just because they're just not on Netflix.
But like before I go to bed, I watch some YouTube, and like maybe during lunch or like dinner, I watch one episode of something on Netflix. That's it.
I watch shows every day after work and before work. I pretty much watch shows a lot of the time. It makes sense.
Watching TV in general, I usually only do it right after I post a video, then I take one day off and I usually spend that whole day like binging Netflix. Okay, so the shows that I'm going to be talking about aren't exactly the most new. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is The Naked Director.
A Netflix original called Naked Director.
It was a pretty big deal, I think, last year.
I'm not sure if this was marketed enough overseas, but this is something that a lot of people here became obsessed with.
And I like binged the whole series. I really liked it. It's intense. Don't watch it with kids around.
Very NSFW. There is some hardcore sex scenes in here.
It's like a lot of sex, a lot of body parts.
Because the story follows a real background story of a director. He starts to kind of change it into like this art form that slowly becomes to the stereotypical weird Japanese pornography that you may have stumbled across or heard about from a friend.
But I really liked it because it felt very different to a lot of other Japanese TV shows and media that I'd seen.
The acting was really good.
The acting was really enjoyable and it felt quite genuine, and I was really interested in the characters and their backstories, and just the story was excellent. I really enjoyed it.
I can't say that you'll appreciate pornography after watching this, but it's gonna be something that will be eye-opening.
There's a show on Netflix and BBC called Giri Haji, which literally means duty and dishonour. And it's, I've been wanting to watch it for ages, but I didn't know if it was going to be good or not. I find typically drama set in Japan aren't the best things to watch. The quality is not good. But Giri Haji was amazing. I highly recommend watching it. It's basically about a guy whose brother is in the Yakuza and he kills someone in the UK, and then he comes over to the UK to investigate. But basically there's a good drama that plays out between Tokyo and London in a really compelling way. I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's very original, and it's one of the first things I've ever seen where the narrative is set across London and Tokyo. So naturally, I guess I feel a bit of an affinity with it.
So the first thing that I've been watching quite recently is this YouTube channel called Peaceful Cooking. Like, this dude is so zen. It's like something that I wish that I could do more in my life, or like, I just feel, you know, as the name suggests, peaceful. He usually makes two different versions of the same video. One where it's completely silent and it's just ASMR of him making like tea or something. And the other has like music and is more, you know, like the usual YouTube video. Sometimes it's really nice to just wind down and watch someone use very pretty cups and fancy equipment to make something simple to eat or drink. I follow a bunch of Korean home cafes as well, where they make really pretty drinks that look really hard to drink, but it's just fun watching them make something so beautiful. So if you're into ASMR, or you just like, I don't know, cooking content in general, I think you should check out Peaceful Cooking. It's peaceful.
The first show I'm watching is Yuru Camp. So can you guys guess what Yuru Camp means? The Yuru Camp is, Yuru means the relaxing and loosen, and then camp is camp. So it's actually anime. It's about high school 女子高生. They love outdoor and the camping. 5 JK appears in the show. They are part of the circle. It's a club activity basically. And they are living nearby the Mount Fuji. So a lot of the scenes appear in the show, this anime, is very really beautiful. It's like nearby the mountain, lake とか. It's quite chill, so it's nothing like drama happening. It's more like the just enjoy watching them doing the camping and then doing a lot of the activities together. I think the next season is going to be start 2021 January. Season 2 will be up. This is 超面白い.
So moving straight on from that, I'm going to go to one of my favorite things to watch every year, which is Waratte wa Ikenai, the Batsu game. There's this comedy group in Japan called Gaki no Tsukai. Every New Year's, they come together and they film this 24-hour special. It only runs for about 6 hours on TV, but they film for 24 hours of this Batsu game. And you might have seen it. They kind of get challenged to not laugh. If they do laugh, they people come in and hit them in the butt with a rubber baton or a baton. Is a baton a conducting thing and a baton is a police? I don't know. They get hit with a stick. It's so much fun. I mean, some jokes it's like, oh, whatever, but most of them are just so hilarious. Actually, for the 2021, they had a scene like the Naked Director. It all links up. If you get engaged in Japanese media, sometimes it crosses over and it's a really great moment.
The second recommendation is an anime that everyone has already heard of by now, and the reason I'm sharing it is because a lot of people were bothering me to catch up with it, which I finally have, and that's Boku no Hero Academia. There's a lot of people like kind of half and half in my friend circle. Some people who have dropped it already, some people that haven't started yet. And so if any of you have not watched Boku no Hero Academia, it's a really great superhero anime, and it kind of brings the kid back in you. It's a great shonen that I would just recommend to anyone who wants to start getting into a series right now. And plus, since we're all on quarantine, I guess right now is the best time to do it. I believe it's already 4 seasons in, at least that's the last one that I watched.
Another thing I've been watching or rewatching is Black Mirror. I've always been a fan of Black Mirror. It's written by Charlie Brooker, who used to do one of my favourite TV shows, Scream White, and you can find all of it on YouTube because it's all still there. Though Black Mirror, I feel it's got worse over the years, probably from pressure above from Netflix, given that they fund it now. If you look at the earlier seasons, series 1, 2, 3, just some of the most amazing anthology series. It's just some of the most amazing episodes. Like I rewatched the national anthem, the first ever episode, the other day, and it's just brilliant. Now, I've been trying to borrow inspiration from Black Mirror for some things that I'm currently writing, and so you can't go wrong with Black Mirror, unless it's the one with Miley Cyrus in, which was just so boring, so rubbish.
The next thing I want to share is something that I'm really excited to talk about. I've been pushing my Haikyuu agenda to everyone in the office, and I think everyone is sick of me talking about it, but I just finished rewatching the whole of Haikyuu, and specifically season 4 of Haikyuu, To the Top. If you haven't watched Haikyuu and you really enjoy shows or anime, I don't know, it's all about camaraderie, is that what you say? If you like, people who love each other and teamwork and we are nakamas and everything, if you like that kind of show, that will make you love all the characters, like they're your babies or your sons or whatever. Like if you like that kind of thing and you haven't watched Haikyuu, why? Why haven't you watched Haikyuu? Sorry, I'm very aggressive. I just love them so much. I feel like they are all so precious. It's one of those shows where you can't dislike any character because, yeah, you can ship anybody with anybody.
So next show I'm watching Ousama No Brunch. So Ousama No Brunch is Japanese variety show. I think it lasts quite a long time because the show has been airing for around 20 years or more maybe. And then this show is about a lot of the trend news such as tapioca toka or the new shops. Recently, Japanese show also shifted to host from their own house. They do a lot of delivery food. They introducing the apps. They share the Disney tips as well, which is very fun. そんな感じ.
I've also been rewatching a lot of thrillers, particularly from the late 80s. I watched Fatal Attraction, Cape Fear, and Misery recently, all completely unrelated, but Misery really stood out. It was the first time I've watched that Stephen King novel turned into an incredible film starring Kathy Bates and James Caan. Kathy Bates plays the scariest character I think I've seen in a film in years, and it's just stayed with me the last few weeks.
Alright, so recently I've been getting into rewatching like older Japanese horror movies. If you guys know me, you know that the only kind of movies I watch are horror, and I've seen basically all of them. So you can watch these on YouTube. I don't know if there are English subtitles available though. That could be a problem. All right, number 4 on the list is Chakushin Ari. The English name is One Missed Call. This is probably one of like the first Japanese horror movies I ever watched. I don't know if it ever got popular overseas, but it's one of those horror movies that all Japanese people have seen. So if you watch it and you've got Japanese friends and you talk about it with them, you guys can probably have like a fun conversation about it. So it's one of the standards that you should watch. Number 3 is Teke Teke. Now, the acting in this movie isn't amazing and like the movie itself as a whole isn't like overly impressive, but the like concept of the monster in the movie is so creepy that I feel like it deserves a watch just for that. Like I really think about this movie a lot when I'm walking down the street at nighttime. I feel like that's a good horror movie when you find yourself thinking about it like in real life. Number 2, you guys have probably seen before, but maybe you've only seen the American version. And if that's true, I highly recommend that you watch Ju-on, The Grudge, the original Japanese one. Really creepy and really, really well done. Overall, it's a really good movie. And finally, again, another movie you've probably seen the American version for, but maybe not the Japanese one, The Ring. It's called Ringu in Japanese. It's probably the best Japanese horror movie ever made. It's such a creepy and just like well-made movie. So if you haven't seen Ringu, the original Japanese version, do check it out.
The last one that I'm going to talk about is Beastars. I don't know if you guys have watched it or heard of it. I believe it's on Netflix. I don't know how to make it sound like it's not for fairies. And like it's high school, but they're all animals, and there's the predators and the prey kind of thing. There's the herbivores and the meat eaters. But the meat eaters don't eat meat. They eat like all vegetarian and vegan options. Oh wait, no, there is a weird chicken egg thing. There's a whole egg thing. It's kind of about a predator that falls for someone who is a prey style animal, but they're in high school and it's all crazy. I'm not into too much anime, but I still really enjoyed it. I find Beastars really good.
So the last thing that I actually rewatched a few weeks ago was called Promare. Now this is an anime movie made by Studio Trigger, which I am a personal huge fan of a lot of things that they make. It's a world about how there's this like group of people called the Burnish, and they are discriminated against. And so from there, everything unfolds of them trying to fight for their right to live in harmony with the humans. And also, it's very aesthetic. If you guys like Studio Trigger, I definitely recommend Promare, even like purely for the aesthetics. But the story itself is also really good too.
I watched Black Rain, the Ridley Scott film set in Osaka, again with Michael Douglas. Been watching loads of Michael Douglas films, it seems. But I've been borrowing influences in terms of cinematography from Black Rain, because it's set in Osaka and it's kind of got this amazing neon lit kind of view to it. They made it look really gritty and cool.
Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is also something that I'm kind of passionate about. It's Terrace House. I'm not special. I'm just like everybody else who likes Terrace House. I kind of started watching the show in a very like casual manner, and then now I'm so invested where I'm like every week I'm like, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna come in? Who's gonna leave? And blah 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 blah. And the premise is just basically 6 people, 3 guys, 3 girls living in a house. Apparently it's not scripted, that's what the interest is, and it's not necessarily about dating or love or whatever. Like they build friendships and all, and it's just interesting to see how people live. And more so for me, I just want to listen to more Japanese things and like kind of digest the language a little bit. And yeah, I would say my favorite season is Aloha State. I think there's a reason why everyone else is so invested in it. So like if you want to hop onto the bandwagon, now you have a reason. You can just bring me and be like, oh, this person on YouTube asked me to watch it. So yeah, Terrace House.
So I want to share this drama. I'm not sure if you guys watch, but I always scream and then I'll tell Natasha, look, this is so cool, which is Ossan's love. Ossan means Ossan. Ossan means uncle. Oh, dude. Love is love, right? This show is not BL to the max level, but it's really, really cute to watch. 超面白いよ。なんか there are some level of Ossan, the real Ossan, around 50-year-old, and then the middle class Ossan, which is like 30-year-old, and the young 20-year-old Ossan. 50-year-old Ossan and the 20-year-old Ossan fell in love this 30-year-old Ossan. So this 20-year-old son is good looking. The 30-year-old son is oh my gosh, it's so oh my gosh kind of level. It's really, really cool. And then this 50-year-old son, so you cannot say it's like handsome and good looking, but he's really charming. So this 30-year-old son is not, he doesn't like men. He hasn't realized he likes men yet. he's never tried before. Very nice. Everything is like, wow, 楽しいみたいな. So every after I watch this show, I said, Natasha, めっちゃ面白いよ。見て please watch because I want to talk to someone about this show, but there's no one. So if someone is watching this show, please let me know. Please DM me. Let's talk about that.
So besides Japanese stuff, I actually find myself watching more of like American or British television here in Japan. And right now I'm watching 13 Reasons Why. They came out with the 4th season, I think they're on now, which is crazy. And it's okay, like it's good. The actors are really amazing and they always do a really good job with it, but I feel like it kind of went downhill as the seasons went on. The first one was certainly the best one. I'm about halfway through season 4 right now and it's okay, but I'm not overly impressed.
And I've also watched some really cool artistic Japanese films. Shoplifters, Tokyo Sonata, Like Someone in Love. Check those out. The synopsis of all 3 films are too complex to describe, but watch them. Particularly Like Someone in Love stayed with me for a long time because one of the key events in that film happens off screen in a really bizarre way that makes you wonder if it's brilliant, if it's genius, or if it's dreadful, and I'm still not sure.
Another thing that I recommend is also, this is a documentary called Tokyo Idol, and it's on Netflix. And this is a documentary that kind of goes over the stigmatism of idol culture in Japan. Ironically, that documentary kind of introduced me to some idol groups, even though it was meant to steer me away from it. But it's kind of cool to see like otakus kind of talking about, well, idol otakus, like people really obsessed with idol culture, just seeing their obsession with it and why they're obsessed with. So it's a cool documentary. I would recommend it.
So those are some of the Japanese shows that we've been watching lately.
But hopefully you guys will enjoy some of the things I've shared in this video for today.
I hope you can find something new.
If you have some recommendations on like anime, please leave it in the comments down below. I would love to watch some good anime.
Also, if you guys haven't seen it yet, we did another video where we rated certain Japanese foods and cuisines. So if you want to check that out, please follow the card above.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you so much for joining us again, and we'll see you again soon.
As always, many thanks for watching TC Play, and we'll see you again here next time to do it all over again. Bye for now.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Hey there, welcome back to night. Just all blended into one noise. Drank too much coffee. When you've had too much, it just causes problems.
It's okay.
Can't just list them off. Just be like, watch that one, watch that one, watch that one.
You're doing a good job though.
All
Don't
right.
worry, take your time.